Hi, and welcome to topic 7.AB. None of them look good on me. And we will continue to look at specific indefinite pronouns. And we're looking specifically at none and each. In the last topic, we talked about specific indefinite pronouns and why we call them indefinite. We call them specific because they refer to a noun or pronoun that is previously mentioned in a conversation. Not necessarily in the same sentence, but in a conversation. But they're indefinite because they don't always refer to the same thing. They can be used for any noun or any pronoun or anything. It can be used for people or for a thing, for a person or for a thing. Let's look a little bit more closely at examples of none and each and how we can use them. For none, it's like you probably have the idea, you see that none there, it's like no or not, which is what we know that means that it's the opposite, that we don't want it, that it's not something that we're going to have. So no, that's why I have this X here. Which tie do you think looks good on me? You might ask that question. None of them look good on me. See how this none is referring to the tie that was mentioned, the ties that were mentioned earlier. And when you use none, it's something that you're talking about a multitude of things. You could be talking about 100 different things, 10 different things, which is different than the pronoun neither, because the pronoun neither selects two different things, only two. And none, you can be talking about two, you can be talking about five, you can be talking about 50 things. That's when you use none. So because we know which tie, we ask that question, which tie do you think looks good on me? And you say none, well, I guess that's a big fat X because none of them look good. Not one. We saw that none an example with things. We can also use it with people. If we were to ask the question, which boy do you want to go to the dance with, Miley? Well, she says none. I wonder why she said none. Look at that face. She doesn't look too impressed. None of them. I'm too cool for dances. None of them. That means we want not one of them. None of them. We don't want them. She doesn't want to go to the dance with any of them. None. Each it's different in the sense that we're selecting a specific thing, but we're talking about the individual thing as itself, but then also and as a part of a group of things that we're talking about. So for instance, when we're going to use each for this in this situation, we're talking about each individual cake, but we are relating them into the fact that they are in a group of cakes. So if we ask the question, which cake did you prefer? We're referring to the fact that we've tasted each of these different cakes. And if we can answer that question by saying each cake had a delicious flavor and a beautiful presentation. I like them all. That means that each individually and as a group, each individual cake was good. We don't necessarily have to use that to have the noun cake. We can also write the sentence by saying, each had a delicious flavor and a beautiful presentation. I like them all. It means exactly the same thing. We don't have to have cake because we know when we say each, we're referring to this noun that was previously mentioned in the sentence before. I hope that you found this lesson useful. Just a quick recap on what we've seen in this lesson. We looked at specific indefinite pronouns, and we looked more closely at none and each. And we saw that none does not choose a noun or pronoun mentioned, and it always is placed at the beginning of a sentence. That's something that's very important. When we use the word none, it has to go at the beginning of the sentence. With each, it chooses all of the nouns and pronouns mentioned in the space, but it treats them on an individual kind of idea or space. And it is always placed at the beginning of the sentence as well. It can be placed in the middle of the sentence, but it's the beginning of the idea that relates back to the noun that it is referring to. I hope that you found this lesson useful, and tune in for our next topic, 7.9a. Is anybody, somebody, nobody there? I'll see you there. Bye-bye.